This country has reached a point where going forward, 2032, 2037, the country will be divided into those who believe we can't go on the way we are going on. We must change things radically.
Yes.
Radically change things on almost in every sector. The what can sell is ODM to work with Ruto. Much as the two parties are supposed to be as different as day and night. But that notwithstanding, parties even with extreme ideologies sometimes find it necessary to work together. It is true that because of the differences between Kenyatta and Jaramogi, then Luo Nyanza had to pay the price in terms of what people call development. And even during Moi's time, the Luos were still opposing Moi. And in Nyanza, people don't look at your money. These are people who look at your prowess. They look at how educated you are. So you recently heard Gachagua complaining.
Yes.
Nyinyi wa Kikuyu mnanipatia this fellow
I need
kina Kawanjiko. I need people like this ODM law MPs. Kina Otiende Amolo, look. Because in Luo Nyanza to be elected if you are riffraff is next to impossible.
Well, hello, great to see you. Welcome back to this amazing conversation right here at the Kenya Times. Conversations that not only shapes our governance system, but also the political landscape. And you know what? It is now 1 week, after the ODM party held the 20th anniversary celebration in Mombasa. What are some of the things that has made this party exist for the past 2 decades? What are some of the things they did different from other political parties? Without forgetting the Mbeere North together with Malava by-election campaigns, which seems to be taking shape. Those are some of the conversation I'm going to have right here together with my guest, who is none other than Professor Herman Manyora. Prof, welcome to the Kenya Times.
Thank you, Nixon.
Good to see you.
Same here.
Amazing.
Wonderful.
Let's begin. It is your first time at the Kenya Times, and
yes.
First and foremost, you are the friend of the former Prime Minister, the late Raela Odinga. What are some of the things that Raela Odinga did to make ODM strong until today?
Well, ODM, like the other things Raela stood for, were things that were put in place to promote and nurture democracy, human rights, and good governance.
Okay.
Yeah, so when you see ODM, you see Raela Odinga. When you see Raela Odinga, you see the things he stood for. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And it is now 1 week, after they held the 20th anniversary in Mombasa. We saw some of the members from ODM, celebrating the late Raela Odinga. And since you worked with him, and he's your friend actually,
yes.
You were together, who was Raela Odinga? What kind of a man was he?
It's difficult to describe Raela. The only thing I can say that Raela was beyond the normal person you can describe. He was larger than life, larger than size. And I kept saying Raela was a spirit, and I think I've been vindicated in his death. What has happened is not something you have seen with other people. So yes, he was an institution. He was not the ordinary politician. Unlike the ordinary politician who is defined by pursuit of power. Power was a small thing in the matrix of what Raela considered to be important for this country, for the continent, and for mankind at large. Power wasn't as important to Raela as it is to most politicians. Yeah.
And for the party now, let's dive in now into our conversation. It is 2 decades the party has existed.
Yes,
different from other political parties you have seen in Kenya. Some of them take power, but after the power, the party ends.
Yes.
But ODM has existed for the past 20 years, strong and
yes.
Producing leaders daily, quality leaders. What do you think, Prof, as a professional, this party did different from other political parties?
To begin with, you don't see ODM as a party. ODM is a movement. So when other parties are dying, they are dying because first they are parties, 2, they are ordinary parties, But more importantly, they are vehicles which people put together to go to a destination. So if you reach where you are going, you don't need the vehicles. You park it outside. You can even sell it. So when Ruto, when Kibaki puts together PNU, when he's through with the politics of Kenya, PNU dies a natural death. When the people put together knock for him to win in 202, after he wins, that's the end of the story. And you can go on, and Jubilee and all these parties. But ODM is a movement.
Okay.
And secondly, having Raila as its leader, and what Raila stands for, and how he does his things, and the power he wields, the respect he wields, that makes ODM survive the 20 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they have ever managed to take power. But in every government, you'll find ODM inside.
Yes.
What are some of these strategies and structures that Raila Odinga had? Every now and then it could be found in all governments.
Raila was a powerful politician. Actually, the most powerful politician in this country for the past 20 years or so. He did not need state power to be the most powerful person. He did not need to be in State House to be more powerful than Kibaki. He did not need to be in State House to be more powerful than Uhuru and more powerful than Ruto. If anybody was doubting that when we were saying it, when he died, they saw it. They saw this was not the death of a normal person. The way people have related and interacted with the family, the way people have mourned Raela Odinga is, you have to look around the world to find the likes of Yasser Arafat, Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini, and just a handful of others. People who bring a whole country to a standstill. So Raila what defined his space was power. He was the most powerful politician within the space we call Kenya. And that's why the moment you went to State House, you then realized life in State House will be a nightmare for you. You needed the most powerful person in the country to hold your hand, to hold the torch for you. And then the question must be asked, then if he had this power, why didn't he then become president? Yes. And that explains the philosophical part of Raila many people didn't understand. Those of us who knew him, we can attest to that. He's a man driven by higher ideals than power, raw power. So when then an election will be missed, including those that were obviously stolen, including one that was nullified by the Supreme Court, other people will fight, and this could plunge the country into a civil war. We came very close to that in 2007 to 2008. But then Raila chooses instead to put country first. And most recently explained it very clearly. He said, look here, Ruto was drowning. It is us who are fighting him. It is our election which was stolen. It is our economy which is messing. So the Gen Zs were quite right. But the way things were going, then we were going to lose our country. That is him, that's not me. And he reckons, I'm fighting to change the country. I'm not fighting necessarily to become president, to have power. So now that things have happened the way they have happened and I'm not the president, should I go for the presidency? Should I go for power at the expense of national stability? And Raila will always say no. And those of us who knew Raila also know that if he had approached power in the way many of these people approach power, he would have become president a long time ago. I mean, what people know is like he had been asked by people. If these people are stealing, why can't you also steal? And that's the time you know Raila can get annoyed. Yeah. I've seen people ask such a stupid questions.
But Prof,
And I've seen his reaction.
Prof, allow me to cut you short.
Please go ahead.
Many people have argued, that Raela Odinga never wanted power. Do you agree with that statement?
Sometimes you can see the frustration people have when Raila loses. Recently, I was talking to a person who said, look, I'm here to reconcile myself with two things. A friend of mine called David. If I say the second name, everybody will know.
Okay.
Very close to Raila. He has not reconciled himself with two things. One, that Raila lost in 2022. And the two, that Raila is dead. And he's not alone. So I think because of the pain people feel, and because of the conviction, and they can see that Raila has won an election but is not taking the president, people may be forced into the kind of things you are saying. Another thing why I will forgive people for saying, sometimes even us, sometimes we ask those questions. If you look at some of the things Raila didn't do over the years, which if he had done, things as simple as guarding the vote, just like agents.
Okay.
And it is not money, so you wonder what is it. So I will forgive anybody who understand when they say Raila never wanted power. It's possible because it's because of the feeling people have. People feel so bad when Raila loses. It is so bad. Those of us who are perceived, maybe people think we were so close to Raila. Maybe we were not. But those of us who are perceived to be very close to Raila, we feel it because of the way people come to us, the calls we receive. You don't even want to walk in the streets after the election results of 2022.
Okay.
People see you and they just break down. Grown-up men just begin to cry.
All right.
So in that state, people can say, no, I don't think Raila wanted to be president. But you can understand.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in 2022, actually, you made headlines. Many people, you said that Raila Odinga Azimio la Umoja is going to take over power.
Yes.
And it really went opposite. And you are among those people who thought that Azimio
No, I
was
didn't
going
think.
to take over.
I knew and I still believe. What I said was Ruto cannot win that election. Today, I still say the same, that Ruto did not win 2022. I've
Really?
said, he did not win.
Why
There was
do
no
you-
way he could win the
why-
election.
why
There
do
was
you
no
say
way he
so?
could win the
And it was
election.
announced by the IBC.
There was no way he could win the election. What happened is,
What do you mean, Prof? And
let
it was
me tell you what
announced
I
as the
mean.
winner by the
What
IBC.
happened is Raila lost the election. Raila Amolo Odinga lost the 2022 election. But Ruto did not win. He went to State House because Raila lost.
Okay.
You see, is that too difficult English?
Okay, let's come back to our discussion.
Yes.
ODM party, many people have said that very soon it is going to collapse with the absence of Raila Odinga. Do you think that is the direction, especially now if we see different leaders within the party, disagreeing on different issues? Are we going to see ODM dividing soon?
We have already said here that once the party leader is done with the party, in this case is no longer, the party dies. That could apply to ODM. I mean, because parties are kept in this country together and alive by the party leader. So once the party leader is not there, the danger of the party dying is real. It's something you can't wish away. It's always around the corner. It can happen anytime. So it is possible that ODM could die because Raila is dead. But why are people saying ODM is going to collapse? The reason people are having is that within the leadership of ODM, there is a section of leaders who seem to be in a hurry to take over the party. And from the word go, two things have been clear. Number one in order for them to be comfortable in the leadership, they would want to evict the radicals. They fear people like Sifuna, Babu, Owino, and the rest, people like Orengo and so on and so forth. So the first thing is that these people are in a hurry to take over the party. Having taken over party in the manner they have done, even unconstitutionally, depending on their looking at their own constitution, they want to kick out other elements from the party. They are only finding it difficult. They already have, they could have done it by now. The second thing they want to do, which is worrying many of the party members, is that they are in a hurry to take this party to deliver it to Ruto. You see? So now when people look at that, they say, now this is what will kill the party. One, people take the party in a very unconstitutional way against the party's constitution. And in a hurry, the speed is worrying. The speed with which, for example, Oburu Odinga was made acting party leader.
Yes.
The speed with which he was sworn in before the final step, which is the NDC. That kind of hurry is worrying to the people, and they also see their pronouncement, what they are saying and what Ruto is saying. Remember, during the funeral, Ruto said, I will not allow somebody to mess ODM. ODM. Suppose
Yes.
wewe Ruto unaongea kama nani? And then kina Oburu Odinga, they keep talking of broad-based or Raela, everything, we shall, that kind of pronouncement, then keep people worried. And then that certainly divides the party into two. Those who do not believe ODM should work with Ruto, and those who think ODM should work with Ruto. So that's what puts ODM at the danger of being split. Yeah.
And in future, are we going to have a party like ODM being born again?
No, politics is dynamic. And every time things are happening in politics, ODM could die, ODM could be reduced to a village party, a Luo party, and other parties could be born, other movements could come up. We live in very interesting times. What I foresee going forward, I can foresee this country, two things. One, young people in this country will begin to get power, and they may have to do it in a structured manner. To approach power in a structured manner then means you organize in a structured manner. You organize around a political outfit, a movement or a party. So I can see perhaps this country may get to a position where young people organize politically by saying we cannot work with these old people who have messed this country. No, let's go it our own. And then they have their own political movement or political party in future. The other thing that will certainly happen in this country, is this country has gotten to a place where the division is so clear. No longer along tribes, because our divisions have been along tribes, but there's going to be a binary thing, where, like the Democrats and the Republicans in the US, there are those who believe we need radical change.
Yes.
And there are those who will say no, who will cling to the old system. So Kenya is soon going to be divided, and this will be reflected in the political formations, where, like the UK, we have the Conservatives and the Labour Party.
Yes.
Although issues have been happening to reduce to bridge the differences, the gap, center-left, center-right, right of center, left of center, and so on and so forth. Things have been, but basically, this country has reached a point where, going forward, 2032, 2037, the country will be divided into those who believe we can't go on the way we are going on. We must change things radically.
Yes.
Radically change things on almost in every sector. And those who will cling to the old way of doing things, playing old politics in the old way, the conservatives. So this is how I see future coming.
And earlier on, I had a conversation with Kipruto Rapkirwa, and he was telling our audience that, you know what, the only way for President Ruto to maneuver in 2027 is for him to join the ODM party. Do you think now, as a professional, Professor Herman Manyora, is it right for President Ruto now to quit UDA, dissolve UDA, and join ODM and take over power
You know, when you want to play with people, do it in a way they don't see the game. But that will be a cheap game and everybody will see it. And it's very annoying to the human mind when you play games with somebody and they see the games. They keep saying, so huyu anaona mimi ni mtoto. Unajua hii kubebwa ufala, eh? There's no way Ruto can go to ODM and hope people will not see the cheap game. That will be a very cheap game and it will not sell.
How do you mean?
What can sell is ODM to work with Ruto. Much as the two parties are supposed to be as different as day and night. But that notwithstanding, parties even with extreme ideologies sometimes find it necessary to work together. So it is possible for ODM to work together with UDA. That's a possibility. But for Ruto to jump into ODM, that will be kindergarten kind of stuff. Nobody will buy it. In fact, it will be so counterproductive that wanaweza wachiwa hiyo ODM.
Really?
Oh, I'm telling you. The moment Ruto becomes the candidate of ODM, see, it will be a Gladys Wanga, Oburu, and I party. The rest will bolt out.
Okay.
Watabaki na hiyo chama peke yao. I think a majority of the members and the leadership. First of all, it has to go to an NDC. I'm not seeing an NDC giving Ruto the ticket. An ODM NDC. Because if you look at the configuration of the NDC, you see it favors the radicals. That's why Oburu Odinga, unless pushed, cannot call for an NDC. Because who is NDC? Look at the delegates across the country. There's no way those delegates can do what Oburu Odinga wants. Least of all, there's no way the NDC, the delegates of ODM, can approve of Ruto's position as party leader or party candidate. So that's dead on arrival.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's reflect now the journey of the ODM party since it was founded. Recently, during the ODM founders dinner, we saw the president there and was trying to say that I'm the one who was part of this team who founded this party, so no one should take me maju, as people say. So take us through, Prof. How was ODM founded?
You know, ODM began, it was the referendum of 2005. Kibaki came to power in 2003. 2002 started 2003. He was sworn in on 30th of December, so we talk of 2003. There had been an agreement that within the first few days, 100 or thereabouts, Kenya would have a new constitution. At that time already, people had been meeting Bomas and they had a draft, a people draft. It had very good provisions. It's called the Bomas draft. But Kibaki dilly-dally, broke every promise on the constitution. But when he could no longer keep it away, he engineered the change to that draft.
Okay.
That change was done in Kilifi. Wako went to Kilifi with the people and they came up with a different constitutional draft, which was then presented in a referendum in 2005.
Okay.
Now, Kivuitu was the chairman of the ECK, the precursor to IEBC.
All right.
Then say, in order for people to vote, each side must have a symbol. So those who want this new constitution,
Banana.
yes, banana. And he was holding them like this, very dramatical.
Okay. And
Those who say no, orange.
Yes.
So the progressive forces led by Raila and Uhuru Kenyatta was there, William Ruto was there, Daniel Arap Moi was there, they said no. So the no side won. And that was a move. In fact, I wrote in the papers that time, in the Standard, and I said, once the orange win, they will create a wave that will remove Kibaki from power. I don't know why they didn't go that direction. It was quite easy. Such a vote of that was a vote of no confidence in the government. Ordinarily, a government like that would collapse. Why it didn't collapse, I don't understand. But anyway, now that made people look at the next election of 2007. These sides had already been taken.
Yes.
Remember the Raila people had already been messed by Kibaki when he didn't honor the MOU.
And they quitted.
And after losing the referendum, he removed them from government. They had been ministers, they were chased away from government.
Yes.
So now they were looking at the next election. So when the time came, they needed a political party. So they then formed a party called Ford Kenya, ODM Kenya. ODM Kenya. Because at that time, somebody had already rushed to the registrar and formed ODM as a party. So when they went to form ODM, wakaambia kuna ingine inaitwa ODM. Okay. So then they formed ODM Kenya. And as we were moving towards the election of 2007, a difference emerged between Kalonzo and Raela. You know, unknown to people, Kalonzo was the obvious candidate as we were headed to 2007. He looked so presidential. Really? It wasn't Raela. It was Kalonzo who looked so presidential. It was 2007. I don't know how Raela came from behind and messed and overtook Kalonzo, and he became the de facto leader and the obvious leader. But Kalonzo wasn't accepting that somehow Raela had managed to upstage him. So then there was this rally in Mombasa, Tononoka, like they say. Yes, Tononoka. What broke the camel's back. And that time Raela had come with I don't know, Nyundo, hammer. The hammer. The vehicle was hammer. He came with a hammer vehicle. Yes. That's how this hammer vehicle became very popular. He came, and it was a very popular vehicle, H2. The fashioned one. yeah, the big one. Yes. Hammer now, wananchi now wakaweka ni Nyundo. So wakaanza kutengeneza hizi manyundo za mbao. You saw it in Mombasa recently. Yes. So in Tononoka ground, when Kalonzo stood to speak, people were pointing Nyundo. I think he gave up. So he bolted from Raila's side, and meaning therefore he went with the party. Okay. ODM Kenya. So now Raila, elections are around the corner, and Kalonzo has gone with the party. This man called Dan Manzo. It's Dan Manzo who had registered. And Dan Manzo is Kamba. So when Kalonzo bolts, Dan Manzo has the certificate. Raila don't have a party. Okay. So Raila, being the genius he is, he went to look for a man called, was it Manyara or something like that? In Meru. No. There's a man called Manyara, I think, who had registered ODM. Okay. And people saw Raila surfacing with ODM. That's how ODM then started. Yeah. And it became a movement. Became a big, because it was a movement from the referendum. It started the moment Kibaki rubbished the MOU Raila had with Kibaki, that when you win, these are the things we shall do. Raila will become prime minister. We shall have a constitution in 100 days, and so on and so on. Kibaki becomes president, and he ignores everything they had written. You can read Kalonzo's book. You can read Riding the Tiger by Moody Award. You can see how Kibaki then changed the moment he was elected. So the movement started the moment Kibaki ignored the MOU. Okay. And that movement went up to the referendum. He lost the referendum, and the movement continued towards the election of 2007. And it was a movement because in 2007, it was 41 versus 1. The whole country was ODM. Oh, the entire country. Apart from Central Kenya? Apart from Mount Kenya. Everywhere else was ODM. And Raila got votes from all those places apart from Mount Kenya. Everywhere. And he had all those members of parliament from across the country. Okay. Kibaki did not only had very few MPs, but they were all restricted from Mount Kenya region and a few of Rift Valley areas where you have the Kikuyu diaspora. All right. So that's explained that it was quite a movement. And that's why also when there was this problem because of the rigged election of 2007, you could see the whole country, the mood in the country. So that's how it was. Okay. So that was how the party was formed. Yes. Until now. We have seen, in every election, ODM is there, producing leaders, daily in every general election, quality leaders who articulate issues in the national parliament and even at the Senate. So how has ODM also managed to produce quality leaders? First, is the party of democracy compared to other parties. So where there are progressive forces, where there is democracy, you are most likely going to get the most articulate people. Secondly, the base for ODM is Luo Nyanza. And in Nyanza, people don't look at your money. These are people who look at your prowess. They look at how educated you are. So you recently heard Gachagua complaining.
Yes.
Nyinyi wa Kikuyu mnanipatia these fellows,
I need
kina Kawanjiko. I need people like this ODM law MPs. Kina Otiende Amolo, look. Because in Luo Nyanza to be elected, if you are riffraff, is next to impossible. Luos look at you. If you say you have not gone to school, you have 1 degree, they ask, what happened? Nini ilifanyika? Because of school fees. They expect a leader to be a person who is well educated. And therefore, a majority of the MPs coming from Luo Nyanza, they will be seen to shine. But basically, and in an overall way,
yes,
where Raela is, where there is pursuit for good governance, for democracy, for human rights, an agenda like that cannot be an agenda for people whose preoccupation is money.
Okay.
Yeah.
But as far as that is concerned, producing quality leaders in every general election, Nyanza is still remaining behind when it comes to development infrastructure. What is wrong?
And that's precisely what Raela has fought for all his life. To have a Kenya where there is genuine development, number one. Of course, with human rights and democracy and good governance and all that. But not just development. To have a Kenya where every Kenyan feels this is their country. To mean, therefore, Raela has been fighting for a country where you don't need to know the president for something good to happen. So
it is your right.
It is true that because of the differences between Kenyatta and Jaramogi, then Luo Nyanza had to pay the price in terms of what people call development. And even during Moi's time, the Luos were still opposing Moi, apart from some sycophantic leaders from there. Again, they paid the price for it. And this hasn't changed over the years. But if you look at it more critically, even the places we say are developed, how are they developed? You see, Mount Kenya has produced a president called Jomo Kenyatta 15 years. Uhuru Kenyatta 10, that is 25. Mwai Kibaki 10, that is 35.
35 years.
But people in Mount
Kenya,
some of the poorest people in this country.
Really, Prof?
Yeah, because Nixon. If you are to look for jiggers in the toes of Kenyan children, most toes will be found in Mount Kenya. The toes with jiggers. If you want to doubt me, when you leave this show, take your phone, go to your computer, Google the Jigger campaign. Just Google it, Jigger campaign. It will show you. In fact, there was a Miss World who came to this country a few years ago on the anti-Jigger campaign. She went to Nyeri. She didn't go to Vihiga, where I come from.
Okay,
so the Gikuyus and the Merus and the Embus, they are not rich because they have had the president for 35 years.
But we can differentiate.
Of course, even like Obama said, you are right. Obama said the chances of a child sleeping, somebody sleeping hungry in Siaya are higher than a person sleeping hungry in Kiambu. The chances of a child dropping out of school is higher in Homa Bay than it is in Murang'a. It is true in a general way, but I'm only saying that even what we call development is not so much development, but even that little is skewed in favor of those regions that have produced presidents against those that have not produced presidents, and terribly against those who have had the courage over the years to oppose State House. And the Luos have opposed State House from 1966.
Okay. Yeah. Now, as we conclude on the ODM 20 years anniversary and journey, in 2018, we saw Raela Odinga handshake with the former President Uhuru Kenyatta, who recently we saw, saying that he was his best friend. And later on, recently, we saw Raela Odinga joining hands with William Ruto to come up with a broad-based arrangement, the way they say it. But that agreement sparked a lot of debate, especially to most Kenyans, and especially Gen Zs, the new generation, saying that Raila has always been a person who thinks for his interest alone, not Kenyans' interest.
It's possible because, again, Raila is a human being. He was a human being. Okay? And all human beings, they think about themselves first. And in the politics, it's about interests. Individual interests, communal interests, national interests. So there will be nothing wrong if Raila is doing this, was doing these things. I still have a problem using Raila in the past tense. So, so it will be not normal. But I think those who say so do not understand Raila. Raila never wanted power for the sake of power. He wanted to get power to transform the country. Through a series of reasons and factors and things, he never went to State House. But Raila was never going to allow the country to collapse in his pursuit for power.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think. I knew Raila fairly well. I've told you even there are things people told Raila to do to be president, but he refused. Some of them, if we mention here, people run away. But
What was it?
No, it's because Raila said, I cannot have been fighting all my life for good things. Then I come and buy an election. Then I buy judges in the Supreme Court. I can't do that. Then I do the things you are telling me to do. I can't do that. Then that's not Raila. And all the underhand deals that go with elections across the world, Raila wouldn't be part of it. But that's not even what we are saying. What we are saying is, when it came to choose between a singular focus and pursuit for the presidency and the interest of the country, when the two were in conflict, Raila will always choose what's good for the country.
Okay.
Because I want to explain this to people who think Raila was doing this thing for material benefits. In the year 2007, after the election, which was obviously stolen from him, the man who...
Are you sure, Prof, that it was stolen?
Yes, of course. The person who fought hardest at the bombers of those days, which was KICC, was one William Samoei Ruto. Ruto was on this side with Orengo, and Orengo and Ruto in the KICC. On the other side, there was one man called Martha Karua. She was alone. At least Orengo was supporting Ruto. But what am I trying to say this? If it had been Ruto's election that was stolen and not Raila's, this country would have gone into civil war.
Really?
Yeah, of course. And you heard Ruto say, when they lost in 2017, he went to State House and found Ruto saying, wacha Raila achukue kitu. Si anasema karibu amchape kofi. Is that Manyora saying, or was Ruto who said it? Ruto said it himself. Nikakuta kama ana kula vitu ingine ambayo tuwezi kuongea. Karibu ni mchape kofi. In other words, Kenyans who are there of our age and people who could see, if it was Ruto's presidency which was stolen, and I was urging Raila and Uhuru, if you are going to beat Ruto in 2022, you must do so in a very convincing way. Because nobody can rob Ruto of his victory. I told them. So now look at Ruto, then look at Raila. For Ruto, it is my presidency I have won, you will not go away with it. Kama mbaya mba, wacha inuke, wacha ipasuke. Now Raila is opposite. Raila says, okay, if I maintain that stand, there's going to be bloodshed. And Kenya, as we know it, may disappear from the face of the world. We may plunge ourselves into civil strife that may take 50 years to correct. Am I prepared for that? Then for Raila, it's always no. And I'm not singling out Ruto. I know many people who would not have behaved the way Raila behaved. People I know personally. Because when these things happen, we meet and talk. We see how annoyed some people are. Remember in 2007, the constitution then, any judge of the High Court could have sworn in Raila. And there were judges that have been mentioned. They were ready to swear in Raila. So we are going to have Kibaki has been sworn, Raila has been sworn. Countries that have gotten to that stage, they have not been able to handle the country properly. Things have... So Raila could see these things and ask himself, do I want the presidency that badly, that blood must flow because I'm pursuing my victory? And for many of the time, look at 2007, when we are talking of secession, when people like David Ndii and Miguna were almost having people remove presidential portraits from government offices and what have you, and many things, and uproot masks and everything for Safaricom in the Western region and other places where Raila was popular. I think Raila wouldn't have gone with that. So people, I think, misunderstand. I also have my misgivings.
Okay.
I also don't support what he did 100%. I also don't agree that if he didn't support Ruto, the army would have taken over. I have my own reservations. But that doesn't stop me from seeing his bigger picture, what he was seeing, what most of us are not willing to see or able to see. That if you must pursue the president at all means, because it is you who has won, then you must also be prepared for the country to go into chaos. And Raila will say, not Raela Odinga. Let the person take the presidency. It's like Solomon. The Solomonic wisdom, you know, haya we shika pande, we shika wacha tukate, mtu achukue kipande ya mtoto. The real mother say, no, give the other one. That's how Raila is. Give the other one so that the child may survive. Then the Solomon, the King Solomon then realized, huyu ndio mama ya mtoto.
This is the real man.
And therefore, even as much as Raila surrendered his presidency on a number of occasions, the presidency was always his. And those who said no, including those who have debated me in studios and everywhere, in the media, print and otherwise, when Raila died, they could see it. They could see this was the president Kenyans never had.
And even recently, before he died, under the broad-based arrangements, we saw there was division between different leaders, especially the likes of Saboti Member of Parliament, Honorable Caleb Amisi, Babu Owino, the Nairobi Senator, Edwin Sifuna, saying that we are not going to work with Ruto unless he delivers what we agreed. And they've been up to stick until today. And we have seen them even forming an outfit, the Kenya Moja, which will not talk about it. But what does that mean, even for the future of ODM?
It means just voices of reason and a healthy democratic party. There will always be differences of opinion. People can't speak like one all the time and move in the same direction like sheep. Yeah. There will be people who see things differently from others.
Okay.
And for ODM, it boils down to, do we work with Ruto or not? Naturally, there will be people who say no, and those who say yes. The progressive forces will certainly see working with Ruto as something they can't entertain. And that's normal. There's nothing abnormal, except if the differences become excessive, too much, that can break the party.
Okay. Yeah. Now let's go now to the by-elections. We have the by-elections in different parts of this country. On 27th, we have the Kasipul, Magarini, Mbeere North, Malava. But out of all these four constituencies, there are only two constituencies that have sparked the national conversation. I'm talking of Mbeere North and Malava.
Yes.
Why these two constituencies? What does this by-election mean to both opposition and even the government? Because we have seen the government investing a lot in these two constituencies. Prof.
I think, you see, for Ruto, people have said he's not on Mount Kenya. So a victory for him in Mount Kenya will prove those people wrong. Therefore, he's going to put everything into it. People equally have said Kithure Kindiki doesn't represent the people of Mount Kenya. And they wouldn't even notice him when he passes. So again, if they win, it will show that Kithure Kindiki has some power within the region. And then in Malava, more or less the same again, because there are people who view Western as a battleground state or area. So that when people have taken the obvious chunks, kila mtu anaenda kupata kura Western. But there are people who are arguing, no, Western is already gone. Under the Tawe movement, is already gone. It's already with the opposition. Ruto has nothing in Western. So this is a test. That's why you have that kind of interest. Yeah.
And we have seen the former deputy president, saying that he's at Mbere North for the whole week until he's candidate.
So is Abraham. So is Abraham Kithure Kindiki. He has also come to the
Yes, both of them are there.
Yes.
But we have seen both of them have different strategies. We have Rigathi Gachagua, who very early in the morning, he will wake up, since Monday, waking up and going door-to-door campaign.
Yes.
And recently, we have also seen the deputy president
doing the same.
Doing the same.
They say what Gachagua does, Kindiki tries to copy.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So, what are some of these strategies? Are they so important, and do they mean to win elections?
Yeah. I mean, an election is about coming up with sufficient good tactics. You must have a strategy and reduce that strategy into tactics. So all these tactics are essential. You deploy this, you find this is not working, you deploy this, and finally, the final bullet is the money they are using. Yeah. When you hear they are lying to you, they are going to door, they are delivering money to people in their homes. Yeah.
Even the opposition, are they giving out money?
Both of them. Yeah, this is a do or die situation. If you didn't use money, it may not be as much as government money, but I'm sure they too must be using some money.
Okay.
I have heard Malala saying, I'll give you 4 questions. If you get ndawapati yako kitu kidogo. So I think they are all giving money. Yeah.
So the politics of money will not end soon.
It's dying. It's dying. It's not like it was in the past, where it was strictly, handouts, and the man with the most handouts will be elected. We have come from far. That is no longer the case. But money will continue to oil election campaigns. Money will be used in logistics.
Okay.
You remember in America, your success in fundraising is a point that you are success in the election.
Okay.
So the people with the very successful fundraising campaigns end up winning nominations of their parties. And then that also applies during the presidential vote in November in the US. So money is still important. Even in areas where people are not bribed, money will still be important. Yeah.
And do you agree with the former deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua? Yesterday he said that the only competitor who I can face is President Ruto. He's a man of my level. The rest are just his employees who I cannot work with.
That is his view, but again, it carries some measure of truth. Because Kindiki is no match to Gachagua.
Okay.
Cecil Mbarire and those the people that are in Mbere North.
Yes.
What Gachagua is saying is that President Ruto is aware that if he goes there, he can be embarrassed. So he's sending Kindiki, who can be heckled and nobody will notice.
Okay.
He's sending Cecil Mbarire and Ruku CS. Those ones can be heckled. Nobody will be bothered. But for the president to be embarrassed, to be heckled, that will be very embarrassing. So Kindiki Gachagua is saying, you come and see the ground. People will tell you stuff. Yeah, that's what he's saying.
And from the look of things, as we conclude, since Rigathi Gachagua was impeached a year ago, and is he the kingpin of the mountain so far?
Everybody is asking this
as
question.
A professional?
You see, yes, of course, he's the most. If kingpin means the person who is calling the shots, then there's no doubt it's Gachagua. If kingpin means a person whose party is the party of the moment, that if you want to be elected in Mount Kenya, if you are not on DCP, you are wasting your time.
Okay.
And Gachagua is the party leader of DCP. That makes him the kingpin. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Prof, for inviting us for this amazing conversation.
Thank you very much.
Insightful conversation.
Thank you very much.
And looking forward to have other conversations.